Dear students, welcome back to another video, and I am back after a long time with this video for you, and I'll discussing the topic of today. Basically, it is of 9th class biology. So I'll soon disclose the topic. Before moving towards the actual video, I just want to suggest you that watch this video completely till the end, and if you have any query you can feel free to ask it in the comment. I will be very happy to answer your queries as soon as I get them. And one more thing, if you like this content, then please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. In this video, you will learn about the structure of human heart. So what is heart actually? And then we will discuss the anatomy of heart in detail. So let's start the video. So first thing first, what is heart? I know that, heart is an internal organ. It's a muscular organ. It's a pumping organ by function. And this is a major organ of the human circulatory system because it is involved in the circulation mechanism by pumping the blood to different organs and collecting the blood from those organs. Okay, so we'll discuss that whole circuit to which the heart is actually pumping and collecting the blood from different organs. So at this point, you must know that heart is a very important part of the circulatory system. But at this point, I want to ask you a question, that which type of circulatory system is lying in our body, in the human body? Is it open type or closed type? So if you know the answer, you just write it in the comment. Now let's see the location. So the heart is located in the thoracic cavity. Okay, so this is the head part. This is the thorax part, the central part, and the lower part is abdomen. So heart is lying in the thoracic cavity. The thoracic cavity has a sternum bone and a rib cage, and heart is located in between these two lungs, which are protected inside the rib cage. So heart is also getting its protection. If you look at the heart's position exactly, then this is lying in the center, but it is tilted towards the left side because of the aorta, because aorta has to supply the blood to the whole body. That's why it is tilted towards left side, and this is because this left lung is little smaller in size as compared to this right lung. So I hope that you have understood it. If you consider the shape, and then heart is somewhat conical in shape, and if you consider the size, then its length is about 12 centimeter, width is about 8.3 centimeter, and thickness is 6 centimeter, and roughly it is the size of your fist. So I hope that you have understood it. Now coming to the main part of this video, the anatomy of human heart, that is the internal structure of human heart. So if you look at your heart, then from the outside it is covered with a membrane which is known as pericardium membrane. This is the double membrane and is filled with pericardial fluid. So what is the function of pericardium? Since it is present outside the heart, so it is protective in nature. It protects the heart and it prevents it from overextension. Since heart's function is to pump the blood, so it is continuously contracting, relaxing. So in order to contain the heart, in order to avoid the overextension of the heart during this function, this protective covering, that is pericardium, is providing protection to the heart. On the other hand, the pericardial fluid, which is filled in this double membrane, it is actually helping the heart to reduce the friction. Friction is coming from the outside environment, even from the inside too, but we'll see that from outside, how can our heart be hurt. So when we are exercising, when we are jogging, when we are running, so this can put extra pressure on the heart wall like any other organ. So this pericardial fluid is reducing, is minimizing the friction and thereby protecting the main wall of the heart. So if you look at the heart wall, then this is made of 3 layers: epicardium, myocardium, and endocardium. But in your book, just myocardium is discussed, so I will be going with that. So myocardium is basically making the whole wall of the heart. Okay, so the side that you are actually having on your screen is the ventral side of the heart. Now, if you look at this, the chambers of the heart, then there are four chambers: one, two, three, and four. So these are two upper chambers and these are two lower chambers. The upper two chambers, they are termed as atria, and singular is atrium. So we are having right atrium, left atrium, and the bottom chambers are right ventricle and left ventricle. You can see the sizes of these chambers. Okay, if you consider the myocardium, then myocardium is not that thick as it is thick with the ventricle. It's not much thicker at the atria side, at the upper side. So right atrium and left atrium, they have thinner myocardium as compared to the ventricles. Ventricles have the thicker myocardium. And if you consider the thickness of the myocardium between these two ventricles, then left ventricle has got more muscular layer of myocardium. So its thickness uh, is much as compared to it is more as compared to the right ventricle. So left ventricle has the thickest myocardium with it as compared to the right ventricle or any other chamber. So there is a reason. You see that right atrium and left atrium, they are draining the blood to the ventricles and they are closer, so they don't need that much muscular strength. On the other hand, right ventricle is actually pumping the blood to the lungs, so lungs are lying very near to the heart. So it also doesn't need more muscles. Which chamber actually needs more muscular strength is left ventricle, because left ventricle is giving the blood to the whole body via the aorta. So I hope that you have understood the reason why left ventricle possesses the thickest wall with it. Now, if you consider, the heart has got two distinct parts, the right part and the left part. The right side is colored in blue while the left side is colored in red. Right side is indicating that this side is having deoxygenated blood while the left side is having it is colored in red, so it is indicating that oxygenated blood is present. So in order to avoid mixing of these two types of blood, there is a septum lying in between these two atria and the two ventricles. So the septum is basically a muscle layer, a muscular separation that is present between the two atria and the two ventricles. So the septum that is lying between the right atrium and the left atrium, it is termed as interatrial septum. However, in between the right ventricle and the left ventricle, interventricular septum is lying. I hope that you have got a fair idea about it. Now we'll move towards the valves. So valves are meant to prevent the backflow of blood. Okay, so we'll see what kind of valves are present at which place. So as you can clearly see here, that a valve is lying between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Basically, there is an aperture. Aperture is basically an opening. So this opening is meant to drain the blood, to pump the blood from one side to another side. So this aperture, the auriculoventricular aperture or atrioventricular aperture, is prevented with the help of valve, which is termed as tricuspid valve, and it is lying in between the right atrium and the right ventricle. And on the other hand side, left atrium and left ventricle have a valve which is termed as mitral valve or bicuspid valve. So remember these two types of valves. Okay, now as you can see, the right ventricle is opening into an artery which is termed as pulmonary artery, and there is a valve present in between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, and this is termed as pulmonary valve. So the blood, when goes to the pulmonary artery, then it cannot enter the right ventricle. Similarly, on the left hand side, the left ventricle is opening into the aorta, and this is prevented with a valve which is termed as aortic valve. So these are four types of valves. They are lying they are lying between these chambers and between the chamber and the vessel. So I hope that you have got this idea. Okay, now we'll talk about the four vessels. Here I've discussed pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery contains, it is the only artery, by the way, which contains deoxygenated blood. Other arteries in our body, they contain oxygenated blood. So pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and these actually take the blood to the lungs for oxygenation. Oxygenation, and after oxygenation, pulmonary vein, this is the only vein that carries oxygenated blood. So pulmonary vein brings oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart, that is towards the left atrium. So these are the two blood vessels. Now we'll discuss aorta. Aorta is the main artery, the biggest artery of our body, and aorta further divides into different arteries. It gives off different arteries and it descends down, and dorsal aorta just divides into so many arteries that provide blood to different organs. And this is another blood vessel. Now we'll see the vena cava. So vena cava, you can see here another blood vessel, inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava brings the blood from the lower side of the body. And the other blood vessel is superior vena cava. Superior vena cava is the biggest vein that is bringing the blood from the upper part of the body, that is the head, neck, and shoulders. So this is all about heart, the internal structure of human heart. I hope that you have got a fair idea about this topic. If you have any question, then you can ask in the comment. And if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That means a lot. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you soon in another video with another topic. Till then, take care.